Biofeedback is lesson number 32, and we did cover this with overactive pelvic floor muscles, but this is such an incredible tool to help people connect with their pelvic floor muscles and their function. And it can be just an amazing adjunct to a pelvic floor muscle training program. So basically what it would look like is if you have underactive pelvic floor muscles and you're having a difficult time getting that contraction and you have no endurance and very little strength, it's likely that when we're really working on the activation phase there. So we're working on squeezing and letting go, coordinating it like that. If you had overactive pelvic floor muscles, we're going to be working more on the rest phase and maybe doing some submaximal contractions if the maximal contractions were hurting. With underactive pelvic floor muscles, we're working more on the contraction phase and really trying to get a strong maximum voluntary contraction and then building that endurance, coordinating it with your breathing. And frequently at the beginning, like if you're really weak, a lot of times we'll have to pull in some of the hip muscles to kind of help us at the beginning. And then we're able to isolate it, improve, and then we integrate it into everyday activities. So biofeedback, surface EMG biofeedback can be a very helpful tool. Like we mentioned before, there are home trainers that are biofeedback. Even just getting a mirror and looking at yourself, that is biofeedback. You're giving feedback. And then there's also something called rehabilitative ultrasound. So it's very similar to what like a pregnant person would have, looking at the baby, but instead of looking at the baby, we're looking at the pelvic floor muscles and surrounding structures and how they're functioning. And so you can actually see the pelvic floor lift, and that can also be a very valuable tool. That's quite a bit more expensive than the biofeedback, and so there aren't as many clinics that have the rehab ultrasound, but it is a tool out there, and I think it's growing in popularity and it can be very effective.